Ready?
Yo, what's up, everybody? As always, this is our very first live episode of the Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast. As always, I'm your host, James Black, and as with me right next to me today is Biohazard. What's up, Bio?
What's up, James Black? What's up going on, everybody? I hope everybody's doing good and enjoyed their weekend.
Yeah, I hope so as well. As always, we are now live. All the shows are going to go live, so hopefully you enjoy it. Comment in the comments through our chats. We'll pop them up on the screen if anything you'd like to say. We'll answer your questions, comments, anything you want. And make sure you check out our Facebook page, our Lake group, and Twitter page. So give them a check out. So as we move on with our show, we're going to go into
James Black. I'm sorry to cut you off for a minute. I would like to wish one of our partners a good get well soon, Paul Miller.
Definitely, yes, Paul. Get healthy. Hopefully we can get you back on for next week's live show. Because it's kind of going to suck not having you on here. So, anyway, on to the elbow drop topics that we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the AEW with Dynamite and Rampage. We're going to talk about the Raw and SmackDown draft that happened not too long ago. As we start this off, give me 1 second. I had to get my notes up and running. If I don't, I'm going to not have this right. Alrighty. So, first up was AEW Dynamite, which they had AEW live in Rochester, New York, the home of the one and only, rest in peace, Mr. Brody Lee. They did the show all through there. They did a dedication to Brody Lee as well, which there was a Brody Lee section, which it was really cool what they did for him. So the first match of the night was Jungle Boy versus Adam Cole, and Adam Cole defeated Jungle Boy, which Jungle Boy delivered the Hurricane Rana over the top ropes off the apron, which Cole responded to a super kick, the primary sunrise, followed by the babyface kicked out at 2. Cole tried the boom at Jungle Boy's duck, applied the sniper trap, and then Cole escaped and delivered the cheap low blow and the final results of the boom with the pinfall victory. What do you had to say about that, Bio?
Really? Adam Cole, really? You got to do a cheap shot? Oh, wait, that's right, because you're part of the Super Kids. I forgot. And that's the only way Super Kids can win.
Yeah.
I ain't going to lie. I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch it. I forgot. I've been pretty busy. And that's the only way Super Kids can win.
Sorry, I just brought up my intro and all that from the show, which I just brought it up on my phone to make sure everything's working well. But anyway, as you were saying.
Well, for him to cheat like that and the way you coming in is making you already look like a dirty dog. And by you coming in looking like a dirty dog, a lot of guys ain't going to want to work with you. And on top of that, Jungle Boy, to be honest, Jungle Boy should deserve that win. Or at least another match against him.
Yeah. How do you think that should go happen? Do you think that should be a match where it should be like no interference, maybe?
No interference. Great brawl out. Does not matter. Pinfall, whatever. Submissions can count anywhere. Let them two literally brawl it out because both of them were young. Both of them got talent. Let them too. They got competition with one another. Let them brawl it out.
I agree. Another thing that happened down the line with it was Bryan Danielson getting the best of the Elite again. He came out with a promotion ripping on Kenny Omega and the Elite, and saying that he's the world champion that doesn't has balls to go through it. As the fans chanted as they go in, Kenny no balls.
Well, listen, James, I've been telling everybody this. Ever since they made Kenny Odom that big giant champion, eventually it was going to crumble. They built him up way too soon. Yeah, he might be retiring. That was some talk going around. And that's why he was still the champion for them promotions. But if not, and you're going to keep him around, you just killed that man's character quickly before anything. Now you got him running and using the super kids to get into his matches. So now it shows me that you are a bitch.
Yeah, only thing is with I think with Brian is he's going to actually become. If we all see it coming, he's going to become the next AEW champion somehow, some way.
You're right. It might not be now, but I can see what his plan is, and if he does, if it is going to go the way it would be nice to see him take out every single Elite member, and that's even including taking out Adam Cole. Once you take Cole out, who is left? No one besides Omega. So now Omega, you got two options. It's just fork over the belt and let Daniel and another number one contender go at it, or literally drop your kahunas and put the belt on a line. You're scared because now you got someone who can actually put you in your place.
Yeah, and mind you, Brian is one of the best wrestlers that keep coming out of WWE, even before with AEW, coming out of the Indies as well as the American Dragon.
Yes, and I saw that guy perform in ROH at the 2300 Arena, which is known as the home of ECW.
True. So the next match I went through was Cody Rhodes and Lee Johnson versus Dayton Martin and Matt Sydal, which led to having Rhodes and Johnson winning the match and turning out to where it was time for Cody to turn heel. Yeah, it's getting to there where he's not going to be very well known as a babyface. He can play both roles, but I like him as a heel. When he was with WWE, he played a phenomenal heel.
Okay. Like you said, James, you're right. He could play both. I've seen him done both. But I think if he brings back out the American Nightmare, how he started, that will get everybody's head spinning, but like, oh shit, wait. Cody was trying to go right with his dad, even though he said that it was only a one-time deal. It wasn't working. Now he did that heel turn and went back to his old way as the American Nightmare. Now you just peed him back off, open something back up where I can see now him coming back and challenging Minister Black to another match and destroying Minister, giving him his actual first loss.
Well, there's a lot to talk about with that because of the fact that he's getting pissed off because it's almost time for Cody to come with the changes, because you notice a lot of with the industry how's coming around, the babyface is not becoming the fan favorite no more, and most of the fan favorites right now are the heels.
Exactly. Now, babyface. But listen, babyface is still in, but it's all about how you go about babyface. Like I said, because I'm helping you get into the business.
Mm-hmm.
Like me, I'm a straight heel. But if I have to be a baby face, I'm going to be a baby face heel. I'm going to be that person. If you're going to, like, saying you want to be a bully, even
Right.
though I'm a heel, I'm going to come out and step to you regardless, just like anybody else. I don't put that, you know. But like you mean like really baby face or put googie. Yes, it's done. It's time to move to the new era, and I'm glad that Cody's actually trying to move to the new era.
I know one thing, like from being a fan, and I'm like, yes, I'm getting, like you said, I'm getting into the business. I'm learning it back and forth. But with learning it as a fan, it's a totally different concept of how the fans are, how being a fan and learning it, and then trying to get into the business and learning how they do it. It's showing me that where like you can be a fan favorite no matter what.
Exactly.
It's all depends on how you create yourself, and that's what I'm learning. That's what I learned so far.
Now, how I learned, and I got told this by a lot of guys. One of them, a lot of them that I can drop names. I'm good friends with. I still talk to this day, and all. And they told me it's not the promotion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your promoter. It's not the promotion. What it is it's you taking your character or whatever you're going to do and work that crowd. If you get the crowd to start popping and coming at you, cheering, booing, cursing you out, you done it, because it's the fans who's going to make you or break you, not the promoter, not your company. It's the fans. If the fans don't like you, the fans are going to tell you.
True.
And that's what the promoter is going to more listen for. The promoter ain't going to care if you're getting booed and cheered. They're going to keep their ear out and looking out for, yo, this dude sucks. This dude shouldn't even be in the ring. And if a promoter hears so much of that over being booed, cheered, cursed out, whatever, that's it. You're done. That means
Right.
you're going to be let go. It's not a permanent thing. That means you need to work on things. Once you get yourself together after a little while, come on back for another try. It happens.
Right.
But it's us fans. And yes, I am a worker, but I'm going to speak as a fan. It's us fans who keep this alive. If we don't like you, we'll tell you. If we do, we'll show it.
True. That is true. So as we continue on, we had the next match was Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Darby Allin versus Bear Country and Anthony Green, which turned out to be with Moxley, Kingston, and Allin defeating Bear Country and Green, which went into the trio action when they extended the match and saw the babyface withstand an early surge from the heels before Moxley pinned Green for the win. After the match, Sting dropped Green with a Scorpion Death Drop as Kingston held up a Brody Lee sign.
Well, once again, rest in peace, my brother. You were a good friend, a good mentor, and you always had that ear. I'm glad that whole show popped in the honor of you. And that shows you, bro, of how much us in the business have love for this business, that we dedicated that for you.
Well, that was for the show, but we haven't got to where what match got dedicated, because the match that we're going to talk about next, once we talk a little bit with this one, they actually had -0 Brody Lee Jr. with them. That's the next match. But one thing I'll say this, they had a lot of superstar talent in one match. I think they could have divvied it up a little bit more. I think maybe they could have gave Darby Allin it's his own match with Green, and then have Moxley and Kingston against Bear Country. So I think it would have balanced out the crowd a little bit, so that at least it wasn't overpowering.
True. Well, now what you were just saying, now look, Sting's been sitting back lately.
Yeah.
And letting Darby get some of his, and letting Darby get his time. Now I'm like Paul Miller brung up last one about Darby Allin needing his time. Well, Darby Allin is getting his time, but he's doing it when he's ready, and I like how he turned. That I did not see that side of him in a long time. And I got to say, if it wasn't for Sting being his coach, mentor, friend, Darby probably would have never probably found that again.
Yeah, true. That is true. So, the match that you were waiting for, the Dark Order and Orange Cassidy versus the Hardy Family Office. As a result, it became the Dark Order winning against the Hardy Family Office, which pretty much the Dark Order nearly allowed their issues to get the best of them on a night so important to the legacy of the late Brody Lee, when the fight between Alex Reynolds and Evil Uno nearly cost the Fraction partner of Orange Cassidy in the victory of the 16-man tag team match against the Hardy family, which with John Silver interrupted and wiped them at the competition, and joining Silver to turn Uno and Sue Grayson delivered the fatality, earning the victory for the team. After the match, Prez 10 Vince hosts Brody Jr. onto his shoulder to celebrate in honor of his father, as always. The match was literally great. It was a great dedication to Brody Lee. It never meant for anything to be else. It's like I said, it's a shame that he passed on for what happened, but there's a lot of love with the Dark Order for Brody, and Brody is pretty much a permanent member of the Dark Order. He's a permanent member of AEW, and he's going to make this. This is, I think, what they need to do for this team, for the Dark Order, is give them a tag team, give them a shot at the tag team titles, and honor the victory in Brody Lee.
Well, not even just that. I mean, Brody Lee touched so many good guys, women, in so many different promotions. So no matter what, the legacy of the love of pro wrestling is going to carry on because of that man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think, to be honest, the Dark Order should take a couple guys and put them up for titles. Put them up for the TNT. Even though Sammy Guevara took it, congrats. But they deserve it. Throw them up for the AEW also. They deserve it. I mean, you got guys in there, give them a shot.
Definitely, and it's like we said, it's about bringing home talent that you brought in from the beginning and giving him that shot. Yes, I understand you're trying to prove WWE wrong that you let go so great talent that they do deserve a title shot somehow, some way. But it's better off trying to get at least some of your own talent. Like, yeah, not everybody is going to be able to hold that title or any of the titles.
Exactly. But like you said, you got these guys who've been in the company since the company, before the company was a company. They were just a group meeting up and standing and talking behind a podium before they ever came this.
True.
Now, okay, yeah, they might not want the title, which is fine. They got that right to say about it. They could be like, no, I don't want the title, but I don't have a problem of going for a title shot and giving your champion a push. Give them that. If they don't want it, the title at all, but give them that. It will make you look a lot better than the WWE, because you're still using the talent that you actually started with, plus the talent that you're taking away from them and showing them. So it's like, yeah, see, I still got all our talent and taking yours. What do you got now?
True. And then they had then they have the next Dark Order members, the females, with Ty Conti and Jay going up against Penelope Ford and the Bunny, which KJ, which was Jay and Conti, who won against Ford and Bunny, and which it was kind of cool what they did right after the match, because their match was right there before anything. They literally came out with the Dark Order, and they actually were with Brody Lee Jr. and they hugged them, because since they are honorary members of the Dark Order, these two women how they're fighting all, I think they both deserve their chances at the AEW title, especially Conti, to where that she was the first Brazilian to actually wrestle in the WWE when she was with them, but they never gave her a chance. Like, the only chance they gave her was the Mae Young Classic, and then she lost in the first round, and then they brought her in to wrestle, to do maybe a couple NXT. That's it. And then they let her go in 2020 actually, right during the pandemic, and all of a sudden Conti gets picked up by AEW, got her shot. She wrestled in AEW Dark for a little bit, and now she's showing herself that she's meant to be in this company. She's a phenomenal wrestler. She shows off what she has, that she's not afraid to show who she is.
Exactly. And to be honest, yes, she picked up that probably joining the Dark Order or becoming a member of it helped her build more of a character, because that's on what Brody Lee was about, was character. He didn't care what your character was. He was there to help you get through it, everything possible. If you had any questions, any doubts, any concerns, anything, that man was there to listen. Yeah, and I know Brody Lee from CZW, and yes, that man ain't no joke as a character in the ring, but behind the scenes, that man has gave me advice that has led me to be where I am today, where I'm doing this podcast and working to get back into the business.
Yeah, this is a lot of people for their window to get in where they want to go. And hey, I gotta say, I've been a fan since I was a kid. And the first thing I watched, and I can say right now, the first thing that I watched, the first match I ever got a chance to watch was Goldberg, WCW. And it was the first thing that was on TV, flipping through the channels, nothing else to watch. I turn on ACW. I said, oh, what's this? I turn it on. I'm watching it, and all of a sudden I see this man strong as hell, walking down the ring. I'm like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know who this guy is. It's like, I don't know any of these guys in the ring. And all of a sudden, he's shown like he was a Superman. Like, he was Superman. How he speared, he gets hit, and all of a sudden he jumps right back up, does a backflip in the ring, and like, come on, I'm ready.
Well,
it's like it was like what I put it was like love at first sight. It's like I said to myself, I'm like, one day I'll get there, but I didn't know how to. I didn't know who to talk to, and like I tried regular amateur professional wrestling, like Olympic style wrestling, and that wasn't for me. I couldn't really get into it. It's not the same, and everybody says that. Everybody else tells me like, "Oh, it's the same thing. It's the same thing." I'm like, "No, it's not. That one is more strength and arm handling. This is more precision to make sure that you're gonna hit your mark right. Because if you hit it wrong, it can be fatal for you and your opponent."
Or seriously injuries. Well, when I first fell in love with wrestling, when it landed,
The Wolfpack.
the original Too Sweet.
As I love the NWO.
Who originally started that.
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall,
and Hulk Hogan.
Hollywood Hulk Hogan, to be exact.
All right, yeah, you got it. All right, thanks. But I was still correct, even though you had to throw the Hollywood. All right, James, you don't have to get smart over there, okay?
I'm sorry, but I was original WCW before WWE. Oh, I'm sorry, WWF.
Well, I wasn't WWF either. I was more ECW.
Gee, both companies got bought out by WWF or E. Sorry, don't get political corrected by the people. But
screw them.
But look at how we got to where that now we're more with the AEW Elite.
Sorry, Vince. You see, I mean, yeah, Vince, I ain't gonna lie. If that was me and I was a businessman, yeah, I probably would have done the same thing you did out in the beginning. Buy out your competition so you could be the only competition. And yeah, you did that. And you for a long while, yes, you were such a success. But where you went wrong is where you did not even take a thought, not even a penny thought of maybe out of another company can come out of nowhere. And look what happened. AEW came out of nowhere, and you still took them as a joke, where you had Triple H turn around and tell Billy Gunn at the Hall of Fame induction that he will buy that pissant company and fire you again. Right there, if you're having Vince say that, to have Triple H say that, that means you are already at that point of free. And you have plenty of chances of using your younger talent as to compete, but you failed. It's too late. You're done.
Yeah, and mind you, he doesn't really know what to do with himself due to the fact that AEW is actually showing matches that we like that kind of matches. Like, come on, how many people do you get the chance to see all the indies live and seeing the wrestlers that some of us never heard of, or even seeing the New Japan Pro Wrestling going on as well? I think we have a minor. Everything good?
You,
What happened?
I don't know.
You just like froze out of nowhere. The show's still going.
Oh, am I still frozen?
No, you're good.
Yeah.
Did you hear anything that I said to make sure?
Some, and it was like that. Sorry, folks. This is our first time. We'll make sure our kinks are worked out by next time. And if
Yes.
anybody's got a problem, I don't have a problem chest chopping them.
And we got and the WWE way, we got 2 words for you. Suck it.
Or wait. I'll save that for to be continued.
But as I was saying, shoot, I actually forgot what I was saying because it said all that and it just went out the window.
You were talking about WWE with Vince and AEW, and I brung up about Vince should have thought about it, and now you was talking about how AEW is doing what they're doing now.
Oh yeah, like AEW is doing now. Like fans they're listening to their fans, and plus you're getting the indie promotions into this. You're getting you're getting New Japan Pro Wrestling into this, and mind you, I'm going to say this, Vince. Remember one thing. You said always fight outside of the box. You know, take the box, get out of it, and actually do something that's the ballsiest thing that you can ever do. But you haven't yet. You haven't done it since you went into the PG era. And there's no such thing as a fucking PG era. This world we live off of violence, sex, and I'll say it right back, and drugs. And that's what sells TV. If you can't handle, and USA doesn't want you to handle it, it's time to find a new connection, a new partner, and just tell them, fuck off. I'm losing ratings because of your asses. Time for me to move on.
Well, James, to be honest with you, even if he does that right now, he's still screwed. Because on the simple fact is, he is too much afraid. It's because his wife holds his balls. Why he holds Triple H? Why? Well, what's his wife's name? Linda? Yeah, Linda
Yes.
McMahon holds his balls. He holds Triple H's balls. Why Stephanie is the ringleader.
True.
Vince, drop him. Do what you would have did in the Attitude Era. You're in that back. Might as well say this is the 21st century. You're back in that Attitude Era. Look at AEW. They're doing hardcore matches. They're doing blood.
They're doing death-defying hardcore matches.
Come on, AEW just did their verse with their UFC steel cage, octagon cage with Jack what's his name?
Hager?
Thank you, Jack Hager and Wardlow.
Yeah.
Come on now, WWE board, you could have came up with something like that.
Come on.
But no, you're too much of a kitty cat.
And plus, they're more of the entertainment of sports entertainment.
What entertainment? What, seeing the same old guys, same old girls over and over? Where you got these young guys from the UK that you should be used, or your other ones, NXT and everything else. Use them, but no, you want to give Roman, you want to give Charlotte, you want to give Becky, even though Becky has a right, but Becky should have stepped back in the line and waited until her turn was right. But no, you wanted this and that because you never lost the title. I'm sorry, you got younger guys, younger women who are training and practicing and doing match after match after match to get that shot, but you overlook them, and you wonder why they leaving, and the next minute you see them on Impact or New Japan or Chikara or Luchador Underground or AEW, and you want to sit and bitch and complain about, oh, this and this. Well, if you had them and used them, you would be more success.
True. That is true. And you hit almost every single point with that, and it's sad to see that too, because of the fact that like you're getting all these people who are getting shots. It's like even names that I never heard of, and it's like with Impact. I know we drove all the way off the topics that we were talking about, but like with Impact, like there's a 6 women tag team match coming up on Impact. You had Kimberly, Brady Lauren, and Lady Frost going up against Tasha Steeles, Savannah Evans, and Mercedes Martinez. And Martinez, I know Mercedes, and Mercedes is one bad woman.
Well, I have a couple good friends. I can't drop no names. It's to me, I'm doing it out of respect. But I got a couple friends that know Mercedes. I actually met her twice through my friends. She's cool down to earth, but when it comes to the ring, Mercedes, you're one bad bitch when it comes in that ring, and I seen your work, girl. And trust me, I ain't afraid or hardcore or whatever. But as long as I ain't going against you, I'm good. Because I heard that you hit hard.
I think you're trying to make sure you protect yourself somehow, some way. You're not the one in the line of fire.
Oh yeah. It will hurt.
I want to get this to you while we're on this topic real quick with Impact. What do you think about the new championship title that's being made? The Digital Media Impact Champion.
All right. What the hell is a digital champion? What? And they're going to go, wait, hologram like Star Wars? I mean, to be honest, is that your digital champion?
It's a good question.
I'm sorry, but what's a digital champion? I never heard of a digital champion.
Yeah, it's a brand new title that they're coming out with. They're going to be doing a whole title. You call a tournament for this title, and it's like I heard this title come up. I'm like, huh? Like, what's with a digital title? Like, why is it digitalized? Like, what did they do? It's like, is it supposed to be something that it's a kind of interesting? Because it looks like the AEW title.
Is there a way you get a picture up or no?
I'm actually going to do that.
Because if it's digital, maybe
if you can see that,
you know what? The digital might be the LED lights or whatever. So whoever wins it, well, probably whatever they come out with will be how they can display themselves.
Maybe. But if you look at it, it looks just like the AEW title a little bit, like the World Heavyweight title with the sides of it and all.
It does. But
like,
even if it is, But if it is digital and the way they're going to do it would be much more hotter than actually might as well say WWE's because they got to change the side plates. Why? All they got to do is do it all by a computer up there. There's the new. We don't even have to worry about going that far. But all what I could say is let's see how fully this plays out when that time comes.
That is true.
Got a digital title. Okay.
Now the question is going to be
see how fully this plays out.
Definitely. I'm having a little issues on my side. There we go. Anyway, so as we're going on, it's like with the AEW match, the last AEW match that happened was the Miro versus Sammy, and as you said, Sammy won. He is now the new TNT champion. What do you think about that?
It's about time. It's actually, to be honest, it's a good thing that Miro took that loss. And it brings a little joy and happiness back to the inner circle. And Sammy, he deserves it. All hands down. Bro, keep up the good work. I can actually see you bring him back probably sometime down the line, the AEW title.
What do you think? Like with that going on now, like now you have all original AEW wrestlers holding titles. You have Kenny Omega, who is the original. You have Britt Baker as the women's. You have now Sammy with the title, and right off the bat, the tag team titles is the Lucha Brothers. You now have all 4 titles as the original AEW crew, and none of them is WWE.
But by them, it actually shows no matter what. Look at our talent. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we didn't use them for a while. Why? Is because we were waiting at the right time to use. Why should we throw out all our tricks and shoot off all our fireworks when if we could spread it out and give everybody expense what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And none of us expected all this to happen the way it happened. We try to predict it, and that's why I love AEW. AEW gave back the life of professional wrestling because professional wrestling was nothing but a prediction. Fans will have to predict what is going to happen, and then we're going to do that for that whole month until that show. And then we're going to think because it looks like it's going to go what we said, but then what? And I want to say thank you to AEW for bringing back the love, the passion of professional wrestling.
Thank you, AEW, because you actually are listening to the fans. You're actually bringing back, you're actually showing different matches, different characters, and I also, even though it's characters, but different performers, because of the fact that it can be a character that you've never seen before, but it could be that same performer that has performed in other promotions, but it could be their new story, it could be their new persona, or it could be another chapter of their life, what they're learning about, or if it's something that they're trying to get off their chest, to where what they're dealing with right here, right now, in this world. To where most characters I've come up with, and I'll say Biohazard, a lot of your characters that you came up with in the past and now were about you. It all depends on where you left off in your life. Is where what part of your life was actually good, what part of ours was bad, and you just combined all of it into one character.
Exactly. But with my characters, yes, even my characters are based off of my life, and well, I should just say more of the events
Of
that
your
I
life.
sustained in my life that is what helped me to come up with my characters.
Right. And you knowing where my character is coming along with and everything else, which there's a lot of work still going into with my character. And it's getting good. It's who you see right here.
Now there
Yet,
is one. Go ahead.
but yet there is a hiccup, but it's caged sometimes. But that'll be saved for a later kind of show. But as we go, one of the big matches that they had on Rampage this Friday is one of the topics that I have to talk about is Bryan Danielson against Nick from the Young Bucks. And Bryan won against Nick. He took out the child of the Super Kids. I'm
Yay!
sorry, the Super Click. Apparently, they must have been to come up with the Super Clickies. Not the Super Kids. No, they're the Super Clickies. They like to click things in together. They play with Legos all day long. As they build up their own championship, they call it the Twio Champions. Young Bucks are good. They are good performers, but they don't deserve the titles. The ones who deserve the titles is another triple through. And I hope they make their presence there. Two of the members have. They're just missing one. They haven't gotten joined in together yet.
Are we talking about Jurassic Express?
Either the Jurassic Express or one of the hardcore tag teams that you would love and you've been dying to see together.
Oh,
If you were watching, I kind of gave a little hint of
Switchblade Conspiracy. Wow. Yo, I'm saying this now. Kingston, Moxley, I don't give a shit. You need to get Sammy. I will love to see you three once again destroy. Shit, if you can get Sammy and you take them titles, if they do come out with them, I'll let all three of you kick my ass in the ring in any type of match you want.
and it can be at the 2300 building, or you can fly them out. Maybe it'd be a match on AEW Dark or AEW Dynamite or Rampage, or just a little dark show before Rampage. Who knows?
Oh, and by the way, I'm going to let everybody know because there's going to probably be a lot of people watching now. If you really think I'm nuts, I'm going to answer your question now. Yes, I am nuts, but I love doing what I do.
He may be nuts, plus plus, as everybody says, he has them too, but he just doesn't like showing them.
See, I don't have a problem with showing them, but that will get me locked up. But I got other ways to show how big my kahunas are. So
Teach Vince. Vince needs to learn.
well, first I got to talk to Linda and seeing if it's okay, because she still holds them in her purse.
Yeah, locked up with a lock and key.
Bro, his
That's where they're
balls
at.
get traveled by an armored truck, so he definitely can't get to him. And Linda's only got the key to the truck. She's got the key to the trunk.
Isn't it what? Isn't it because of the fact that because now we understand why there's always 3 money trucks that goes by WWE. One of them is his balls.
Oh, and I know what the other money truck is. Triple H's balls.
They're in a jar full of water.
So when they come in, Linda gets gets Vince, and Stephanie gets Triple H's. God damn.
You see what happens?
But wait, Shane's got his own. Matter, I'm telling you now, here's something. And you know what? Yes, WWE, I'm going to give you a little advice. Advise you to listen. If you really want your ratings to come back, bring back Shane, because Shane knows what is best for business.
This is actually quite funny. You bring up Shane. There's rumors going around that Shane might backstab his father and go to a company that his father doesn't like.
Oh.
It's rumors going around with it that he may sign and be Shane All Elite.
Oh, I'm telling you. Well, listen. If that happens, that's it. It's done. Everybody. And I don't care. You can be. I'm not. Everybody's got their right opinions to like whoever, whatever promotion and all that. But me, I'm the type that looks inside of the business and outside as a fan. But if that happens, that's it. WWE is done.
Yeah, and it's pretty much as we'll put up the end. It's the end of WWE. There's so many coffins that can get put through. So many nails that can put through their coffins, and mind you, one man just got his access to wrestle at any wrestling promotion that he wants. Yes, it's a little hefty, but only one company can afford him. But you know he won't do that.
I already know. I know who you're talking about. And it's all because of Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I don't see Brock going to AEW, because if that's the case, then Roman wouldn't be looking scared. Impact?
The man is retired. He said he retired, but he's worth $25,000 an hour just to be in the ring. And he's the only one that's been with WWE since day one, before he was with WCW.
Talking about Ric Flair?
Mark Calloway.
You keep breaking.
Calloway. Mark Calloway.
Going to.
He is able to wrestle outside of WWE, but his price for him to be able to do it is what's been said, that he is a $25,000 per match. And the only one company that can definitely afford him to do that.
Yeah, but do you really think that will be best? Because to be honest, if you're going to be, you how much you said 25K?
Yes.
You think AEW, to be honest, is going to be willing to keep forking out 25K for every match? You can't just bring him in for a match, disappear for a while, bring him back in to disappear again for a while. It's
I can
just not
say
going to work.
maybe if they do the one match, the one match that we fans wanted to see when this man was in WWE. It was Icon versus Icon. The Dead Man versus the Scorpion King himself.
Now, all right, no, yes. Now that, but that's still that dream match that I know what you're talking about. That dream match should have happened already. It was supposed
Yes.
to happen. But with WWE not liking Sting, they they killed it. You would have had that would have, to be honest, if you would have did that, then to be honest, AEW probably would have had a little bit much tougher of getting where they're at now. Just
Right.
because of that dream match. Since you didn't have that dream match, they could be like, all right, we need this. We'll pay you whatever. Da 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 da. But on that same night, if you really want to put the full nail in the coffin, on that same night, you could do it right at the end before the pay per view ends or your show. Best bet to do it at a pay per view. Have Shane O'Mac appear at the very end of your pay per view event, right after the Undertaker and Sting match.
As whoever is victor, as they walk up the ramp, you hear a theme song go off. And all of a sudden, who appears at the top of the ramp as the winner is walking up the ramp is Shane. And Shane's standing there on the top going like this. And let's put it this way. If they have it to where Mark wins, it will be like Shane coming in as the invader, congratulating the talent from his father's company winning. Or you could have it another way where if Sting wins it, he's congratulating the talent from when he bought WCW. So you
True,
can play the storyline either way.
but to be honest, I for me in the business wise, because I seen and been behind it, that's one what lines I would not run. So I mean, yeah, great, but if you're bringing Shane in to actually crush, just give him his own into. Because I'm going to tell you now, if they get the Undertaker and Sting, no matter, I don't care who wins, Taker or Sting, I don't care who wins, because I know for a fact that's going to be one hell of a match that probably they will have to end it. And at the end it, then have Shane come out and break them both up and hold them both hands is up. Now that, because you got the respect for the Undertaker from the company that you work on and all that, but you're also WCW's with Sting. So technically, you got to see both of your talents that you worked with multiple times with. Finally, and you gave a good dream match.
Uh-huh. It's almost like how they brought back Goldberg. But the only thing is, they're not using Goldberg to who he is. like, yes, I'm somewhat liking the storyline with Gabe, and they're bringing out the old Goldberg, the kick your ass first and ask questions later. But I think they could have done a lot better with Goldberg, to where, yes, he's getting up there in age. He's in his 50s. It's kind of common sense where he is slowing down a little bit. And plus, he was out of the ring for a while, too. But I think the one thing they should have done with him is when they had Sting, because he came around when Sting was around, they could have done a WCW versus WWE type of match where they could have had DX. They could have had the NWO in the back. And then they could have had the Undertaker and the Sting. And they could have had Goldberg and the Giant, a.k.a. Big Show, a.k.a. Paul Wright, in the ring at the same time. Because Goldberg was the first one to pick up the Giant and body slam him and showed that what strength he had. And that would have topped a lot of matches, and it would have been a WWE versus WCW Icons versus Icons match.
True.
Because the Giant got a bigger pop with WWE as Big Show. And then you tie in where you had Goldberg, where had a bigger pop with WCW. You had Sting had a big pop with WCW. NWO had a bigger pop there than WWE. So you pretty much would have had the Attitude Era relived one night only match.
Well, come on now. We're talking about WWE.
Yeah, I know. WWE listens to us like they listen, like the damn freaking telemarketers listen to us and tell them not to fucking call. It's like telling a kid, don't touch. Touch. So, let's get into the next company that we don't really like talking about, but they did a couple of things that we kind of have to go into, is WWE with the draft. They did their annual draft as always. It seems like this time of year they brought it back. So the first time the draft they did it in SmackDown, and the first ones they did was SmackDown drafted Roman Reigns and the Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, and Raw picked up Bianca Belair and Big E for their first round in SmackDown on the SmackDown show. I think it was a bad idea to buy more in SmackDown on Fox, because of the fact that Fox is a totally different network than the NBC Universal USA. But I still think that they should have kept her there. Like Charlotte, yes, I think Charlotte may have been a better move getting her over to her SmackDown, because she was born in SmackDown, and plus it's just like how her father was. SmackDown was everything to him, and it was just like how The Rock is. The Rock is SmackDown. It's his home in SmackDown, not Raw.
But actually, it was The Rock who actually developed that brand. Because he always go around.
And the word, too.
He is SmackDown. I'm going to lay the SmackDown on your candy ass, and that's every time he said it. That's when SmackDown became SmackDown.
That is true. Ooh, what did I do? There you go. And then you add on to where, and after that, you had Drew McIntyre going to SmackDown, which I think was a big pickup for them, having him go there. Then you have RK Bro going to Raw. New Day going to SmackDown, which after a year they got drafted over to Raw. Now they're back on SmackDown with Big E now on Raw. And then you have Edge going to Raw. Then you have the newest group from NXT, Hit Row, going into SmackDown. Finally, they're getting some younger names going up into the main roster, but I don't know how well they're going to use them. I don't know if they're going to use them how they did with Nexus, or how they used with the Shield, or how they used them as New Day in the beginning. Like, it's a lot, and it's harder for WWE to work in the WWE as it looks like. They said, oh, it's easy in this talent, but the main person you got to get by first is Albert. Albert, as they always said he's a great coach. He knows how to talk and all, but it's one of the hardest to get through because he has to take your talent through Vince. And even Vince is a lot more harder to get through than Triple H. And Triple H sees talent, Vince can look at you and just go, next.
But see, none of them, to be honest, none of them really do look at talent, because if that's the case, then why ain't they being used?
Yeah. Like, what's with the name for Keith Lee? Keith Bearcat Lee.
I don't know. Maybe he's changing up or something. I don't know.
Like, why did he choose that? And then you said the same thing, like where Nikki Cross turned into a superhero, which they're going over, and Ripley is going over to Raw, staying on Raw with them. And you have Happy Corbin. What's so happy about him? It's like, why does he have to be known as Happy Corbin? Why don't you just keep him as has his name, Corbin? Like, I don't get this. Like, you have to add something to them. Like, yeah, like, I love Austin Theory is going to be moving up to Raw roster. And I love how the impact he made on Raw, where he knocked out, he says to Jeff, I want to get a picture with you. Gets a picture with him, knocks Jeff out, and then takes out their picture with him as Jeff is laid out on the mat. Now, that is showing a statement that you're trying to make something of yourself.
Exactly.
But how WWE is coming along with this, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, look at it. Like I said, you got all this young talent, but you're not really using them.
Exactly.
And it's a shame.
Then you have with wrestling, you had the second night where Roman got pissed off because of the fact that he was making sure Paul Heyman made sure that the Usos got drafted back on to Raw when he found out that Brock Lesnar is a free agent. He is not being picked up for the draft. So he's free to roam wherever he wants.
Yeah, cuz that was part of his contract.
And like Rico got pissed off about it. Like he goes, "Oh no, like this can't happen." Like he told him he told the Usos, if you get drafted to another one, make sure that he doesn't come back to SmackDown to see me. Take his body to a grave site. Where he's turning into a bounty hunter.
Who, Brock?
No, Roman.
Roman's scared. That's what it is. Roman's scared. Why Roman's scared? It's because Roman could be out of a job at any moment. Because you might as well say Brock is a third could be the third person to also put the nail in the coffin.
True.
Another one that possibly, which I don't really see doing it, but if they do it, that would be another. You can't see me.
Yeah.
You get in your 16-time champion going to another promotion. That's definitely a major hit.
There's something that you will love that might be coming through that WWE may be doing. Got drafted to SmackDown, and he got told by SmackDown that it's giving him a chance to show a new ego, a different side of him, which it seems like he's hinting to his TNA Impact Wrestling character, the Willow. It looks like WWE is trying to pull out anything out of their ass to compete. Trying to.
But here's the thing. They got to get permission.
They already have. Impact, when it was TNT, WWE bought out their whole digital library when it was TNA, when they went bankruptcy.
Oh, okay, because Impact didn't come later on.
Correct. When it got changed from TNT Impact to just Impact Wrestling, when it was TNA still. Because when TNA went down, and with what's her name, the original owner of TNA,
Dixie Carter.
Yes, Dixie Carter. When she filed for bankruptcy, that's when WWE came in and bought the whole digital content. How do you think WWE has Samoa Joe's original theme?
Oh, that's right.
And AJ Styles. Did you think anybody would have recognized them if they came out with a new one?
No. Well, AJ, no. But Samoa Joe, yes. Because on the simple fact is, no matter what, Samoa Joe always will have that pop-in entrance.
Right. Because he always had that beat where that everybody came in and he wanted him to be there. It's like, yes, we got him. Woohoo! Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the next week came around, for the next 6 rounds from them, from Monday night, you had the first round pick. The first rounders went from Becky, Bobby Lashley, going to Raw, the Usos, and Sasha Banks going back to SmackDown. Then you had Seth and Damian Priest on Raw, King Nakamura and Sheamus to SmackDown, in which Sheamus said he's going to, when you make him lose one title, he's going to come back and go after another.
True.
He's going to go after the Intercontinental title. Then you had AJ Styles, Omos, and Kevin Owens staying on Raw. Then you had Shayna Baszler and NXT's own Alexa Lee going up to SmackDown.
Wow.
Then you had the Street Profits and Finn Balor going to Raw.
Why?
Is how the draft is going. And then you had the Viking Raiders and Ricochet going to SmackDown.
I'm looking for my charger for my laptop. Sorry.
Then you have Karen Cross and Alexa Bliss staying on Raw. Then you have Angel Garza and Hammerberto.
Never heard of them before.
Cesaro's going up to SmackDown. And apparently they had Bill Goldberg called out Bobby Lashley to threaten him for breaking his neck, and then Lashley came out, but he got blindsided by the Hurt Business.
Oh, I saw that.
Like, that's kind of dubbed what they did.
But look, I'm sorry for that. All the moving around.
Making sure he had his charger.
I apologize, everyone.
You have Carmella and Gable Stevenson going to Raw, and you have Ridge, Holland, and Sami Zayn to SmackDown. Looks like Sammy's still there.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. And WWE, I'm not a big fan of it talking about WWE as much anymore. It's like the show went downhill after a while. It's like it's not the same.
Exactly.
I'll bring up one thing that's coming to our local 2300. It was just announced on December 18th. Malachi Black versus Buddy Matthews.
Damn, I thought you were going to say Moxley because I was about to say something. Well, I'll still say it. Yo, Mox, next time you're in Philly, look me up. I'll get in the ring with you on one condition. You got to come on our podcast. You come on our podcast and do an interview with us, I'll be gladly getting the ring.
Well, as some of you know, if whoever's watching, AEW's 2-year anniversary is coming up tomorrow, and Moxley is live here in Philadelphia at the Leocourt Center, and he's going to be in the Casino Ladder match. The winner will receive a world title match, which has Andrade, Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, Orange Cassidy, Matt Hardy, and a Joker card. There are a lot of talks with this one. Who's going to be the Joker card? There's possibly, I have my pick. I have it right down the line. I haven't said anything about it to anyone yet besides my co-host with me right now. Ones that they're talking about is Bray Wyatt making an appearance. But before I announce mine, what do you think that's going to happen? Who do you think is going to be that wild card that's going to make that pop to the crowd?
I don't know. I really don't know. I still say Bray Wyatt. But then again, like I said, we don't like talking about WWE. Maybe Brock Lesnar. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent with his own with WWE, where he can go to any show on WWE.
But here's another thing: I don't see him really getting in a ladder match like that.
There's one man that I have that I think it's going to be it. He came back. He broke out of the psych ward just like Moxley did, just like Malachi Black did. And I just said his name not too long ago. Buddy Matthews. I think it could be him.
If that is, that will be hot. That will be really hot.
Just think, if that happens, can you imagine, or just picture this? He wins that title shot. Buddy Matthews comes out. He takes that match, takes it in his hand, has that world title match. Then he gets interfered by the man he gave a black eye to in the other previous company. Malachi Black gives him the black mass, knocks him out. Next show comes around. Malachi Black calls him out and says he's not a champion. You took cheap shots away from me. You took years off of my career of being in that ring. You made me lose my chance of winning a title with some foreign company. And now I get a chance to get back at you and make you lose your opportunity at a title shot.
True.
And that can happen to anybody.
Exactly. You just got to put in the work. Yes, it's going to get rough, but what does it? But if you got the love, the passion, and you're willing to sacrifice everything that's going to take in, and yes, family's going to be sacrificed. You're going to have to sometimes sacrifice being with your family for training and all that. But if you got the love and support, then you will make it. But you gotta have the love and the passion, because this sport is not meant for everyone. Everyone's not meant to get in the ring. Some people are meant to perform in the ring. There's some men meant to perform outside of the ring, manager or ring crew. I have done it all. I started work my ass from the bottom to got me where I got.
There's one thing I got to bring up with WWE, which is appearing this Friday on SmackDown. They are going to be hosting the King of the Ring tournament and the Queen's Crown tournament, which is going to be the women's version of the King of the Ring, which I'm actually kind of excited to see how this goes, but I'm hoping that it's not one person who calls herself the Queen. Because that happens, then she's going to have a fat ego. And an extremely fat ego.
True.
And we don't need that.
No, we don't.
But, and that's all I can go from there. Besides with the wrestling real estate that I found out, that Tajiri won the MLW Middleweight Championship at his one event that he was at. So congratulations to Tajiri, which he is still wrestling.
Go Tajiri.
So, as further ado, is there anything else you would like to top up on with WWE, AEW, or any indie promotion?
No, not really. On what I can say, and really, like I said, I'm not that much of a WWE fan. But you know what? Listen to your fans. If you listen to your fans, just like every other promotion's doing, you will find your success again. But good luck to all promotions out there, because we are in through some rough, tough times right now and might be facing more with things that have been here with shutdowns and all that. But other than that, I wish everybody good luck and safe health.
Without further ado, before we sign right off real quick with what's going on, you have the Rock and Wrestling Bash with Jericho's Cruise going along, which is going to be the first time ever, as he puts it, ever, Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy teaming up to go up against Stark and Hobbs on the cruise ship for the first time ever at the Triple Whammy Pool Deck Wrestling Ring.
Wow.
So, don't miss this. If you want to see this live, book it now to see the exclusive matchup at JerichoCruise.com. Yes, you are able, if you're fully vaccinated, you know how that everything goes. You're able to get on this cruise. Get the cruise. Spend the money, because you ain't probably not going to see this on live TV.
And listen, if anybody goes on that cruise, feel free to send us the clip. We would not have no problem of airing it for you.
Yes.
This is what this podcast is for. We are your voices. So you want something to be said or heard, here we are.
And if you need to get a hold of us, you can email us at Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com. So, as I said, again, it's Turnbuckle Wrestling Podcast at gmail.com, which you can email us the official videos or anything that you concern, or I'm going to say this, Moxley, the Super Clicks,
Super Click
or
Kids.
yes, the Super Kids.
No, Super Click Kids.
Oh, you mean the Super Kids?
Yeah, there you go.
You know our email. You know how to get a hold of us. And without further ado, James Black, Biohazard, we bid you adieu. We'll be back next week.